the full view, man. It's the day after. It's the evening after. It was a tough one yesterday, a real tough one, and we're going to be dissecting what happened. Obviously, KG is on the other side of the Atlantic. When the going gets tough, the big games come. He leaves me to deal with all of the smoke, all of the people.
Bro, I was taking smoke on the
like it.
I was taking smoke on the plane, bro. I was in the toilet. I was making sure. Literally, I was there. Yes, I wasn't there like physically, but I was there in the banner, fam. So I had to take. Yeah, man.
It's been a tough 24 hours, obviously, for everyone at Man United. KG's over there in America. Kenny is abroad as well. He saw it coming. He got out there early. And big up to Marcel, Mina, and Owen as per usual. Everyone, big up yourself, man. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And you know what? Like Show Rahman says, today should be renamed Therapy View. It should be the Therapy View today. And we're gonna have, do you know what? It's 24 hours near enough since the game. We're going to talk about it, but also we're going to look at how we move on from this. But we got to break it down, and we got to get everyone's thoughts. KG, look, you wasn't here. We haven't heard from you. I know that you had to watch it in retrospect, knowing that we'd lost 7-0, and then had to see what even happened. I mean, I don't know how you put yourself through that.
Listen,
but the floor's yours, bro. To start off,
the floor's mine. Yeah, man. There's loads of emotions. I'll tell you what happened. I thought, let me watch it. I tried to watch it on the plane. I paid for that Wi-Fi. It weren't like the stream weren't streaming. I tried to watch you lot in the match view, and it just wasn't uploading. So I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to watch another show and keep checking in on it every 20, 30 minutes and see what the score is. I checked in. I checked in at 40 minutes. I checked in about 40 minutes, and I was like, oh, not bad. 0-0. You know what I mean? And I was like, brilliant, bro. I watched another episode, checked back in. I checked in again.
Red flag.
Bro, and then it just went from bad to worse. And I just saw, when I looked at you guys on the match view, I said, Jesus, it looked like someone died, bro. It looked bad. It like the emotion in that room, it killed me. But then I was on the plane, and I wanted to shout. I wanted to go crazy, right? I wanted to get mad, but I couldn't because I looked like a flight risk. You know what I mean? So it was so I was just trying to hold it inside. I was trying to hold it, but then now as time is, the best thing about what happened for me and the journey that I went on is because I had enough time to reflect. So it wasn't if I responded right then where you lot was, I would have been so mad. But I think time is great in it because time lets you look at a situation and say, okay, what's going on in the situation? Now, there's a lot of ABUs, anyone but United. There's a lot of that in there. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of hate in there. Yes, we lost. Yes, the result was horrible. But then I think the next level, people like what people are talking about, the media don't want to see us win anyway. Again, I say batten down the hatches. We come together as a squad. I've seen my team do so well. This is a bad result. It was a bad result against a team that we shouldn't have lost that way too. But the season's not over. People was behaving as if it's finished. Yes, it's embarrassing. This is an embarrassing result. We got humiliated. But I'm not having it and saying that how we're all of a sudden we're a bad side. I've seen some of the Bruno slander. I think that's disgusting. All of a sudden he needs to be removed of his captaincy. Surprising by that when we had this busted sofa for how many years, wearing the captain armband and letting us down for years, and then they've been petitioning for him to come back into the team, not recognizing it's because of a new partnership that we're doing so well. No one's trying to put 2 and 2 together, and they're supposed to be journalists. So again, where I'm at right now is we'll bounce back. I believe in the squad. I believe in the manager. I believe in the players because they got us this far already. It is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there, Mina. I know you wasn't present yesterday. Probably picked the right game to miss, but
that's why it's Mina.
Yeah.
So look, every time she's not in the studio, we lose. Oh.
You needed the Queen Means in there, mate.
Queen
because
Mean.
boy, I tell you what, we needed a lot. We needed a lot. I mean, what are you saying? How are you feeling after yesterday?
You know what? I went into the game obviously a bit optimistic. I think quite a lot of people did. It's been a long time that people have gone into a game of that caliber thinking that we could get a point or maybe 3. Obviously, I did the fan clash with AGT. That was a good one. And we both said it was going to be a very level game. And if anyone takes it, it's going to be just about, Liverpool or just about United. I was actually at a baby shower yesterday, my friend's baby shower, and I was watching the game in the corner where at my seat, had my power bank, my AirPods in. I was watching the game. I turned it off at 2-0. I'm being very honest. I turned it off when that second goal went in. I think it was the Nunes header. When he scored, I turned it off. And I thought, okay, this ain't going to look good. Let me just enjoy my evening. I'm here for a good reason, I'm at a friend's event. I'm just going to block the outside world out. My family group chat going off 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. I know that everyone's tagging me 6-0, 7. I thought this was a joke. I genuinely thought it was a joke. Suddenly, people I ain't spoken to in years coming out of the woodworks, messaging me, calling me. I'm thinking, what? Let me just put my phone on flight mode. I'm just going to put it on flight mode, go about my evening. I came home, watched everyone's fan cams. I laughed. I watched the clips from the match view when poor Haley and Steph, I felt bad for them. And I didn't even see the goals. I only saw the first 2 goals. It's only today, just before the stream, that I watched the match highlights. And I thought, what the hell? What the hell? That's all I had to say. I'm not even going to single out any player because every person on that pitch completely capitulated. And the only thing I can say, I don't think it's a game to like overanalyze. I genuinely don't think it's generally, we gave them opportunities and they took it and ran with it. And yeah, KG.
Can I quickly say this, by the way? Because I think I'm seeing the chat and the chat is getting off, yeah? I want everyone in the chat to know, yeah, that if you think I'm going to change, I'm not changing. I'm going to continue being cocky. I'm going to continue being a prick. I'm going to continue being me. If you don't like it, that's up to you, bro. You could sit on it and swivel and just rotate, do whatever you need to do, but I ain't changing, bro. So if you thought that I'm now going to become some humble fan, absolutely not. It's not happening. Never today, never. So again, you lot can say, oh, why do you think we're in the title league? Again, you don't have to believe. That's up to you. For me, I'm going to do what I want to do, and it's up to you. But bro, can't change me. Big up. Just a quick announcement for the people in the chat because they think I'm going to change. No.
When has KG ever learned his lesson on anything?
I
know.
I'm not changing for nothing, fam. If you lot think me to change your day, absolutely not, bro. If my belief hurts your feelings, well, that's for you, bro. That's a you problem, not mine.
He's in LA. He thinks now I'm going to learn a lesson. I'm going to learn a lesson now.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even here. Exactly.
I ain't changing for shit. I'm letting you lot know that. Sorry. There you go.
Carry on, Mina.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I watched the goals back. I didn't even watch extended highlights. It was 2 minutes, all the goals.
Yeah, don't do that.
I thought, what the hell? I said, I'm not gonna watch the highlights. I obviously saw articles and read some of the articles. For me, I think Ten Hag will learn. I feel like the way that we've set up away this season, questions should be asked. But because it's his first season, it's that learning season. So I'm kind of like, okay, cool. We held 6 at the Etihad. We held 7 at Anfield, 4 at Brentford, 3 at Villa, 3 at the Emirates. A lot of the bulk of the goals that we've conceded is in away fixtures to the top 10 teams. And yes, Ten Hag will figure it out. I've seen reports that he's got the players now going in to see a psychologist. He thinks that mentally they've collapsed. They might collapse mentally in terms of not having the mentality to keep up this pace. And when you're playing 12, 13 games in the space of 4.5 weeks, fatigue will catch up with you. But I think that occasion caught up with the players as well. Going into the game, it was the most talked about game. Sky Sports were doing a lot of pre-game content, interviewing both managers, asking the managers in the press conference, oh, what do you think of the other manager? What do you think of the other team? And Ten Hag even said, oh, don't ask me about Liverpool. Talk to me about my team, because I'm here to talk about my team in the pre-match conference. Whereas Jurgen Klopp was like, you know what, they're coming back. Should we all be scared? La, la, la. He was laughing. And I just feel like the occasion caught up with all of them. You can question the manager in terms of the decisions that, he made in terms of, playing Weghorst up top or whatever. But really and truly, the manager didn't hold 7. It was the players. The first half that I watched, I didn't think, at halftime, I thought, oh my God, we could actually make a comeback because we've been playing quite decent. Then when I saw about the 3rd goal going in, I said, yeah, nah, It's time to turn this
Yeah.
off. I'm going to enjoy my day. But we will bounce back. It's a matter of bouncing back. But holding 7 to your rivals is an embarrassment. Whether or not we were a Jose team or a Van Gaal team or whatever manager it is, Erik ten Hag, I support him. He has my backing, and I'm very much trust the process. But 7 goals is embarrassing.
Yeah, it was inexcusable. I don't know what KG's just. I don't know, his things.
I'm
just
trying to make
madness. I don't know what he's doing.
make myself bright because I haven't got
Bro,
my
you should have just left it. I don't know. You was all right before. Now you just made it worse. I don't know what. Yeah, should have just whatever it was at before.
It disappeared
Yeah,
for a second there as well.
it was crazy.
Marcel,
I know he was gone. Marcel, I know. Obviously, you was out yesterday as well. Wasn't with us. Again, picked a good game to do that. We haven't heard from you, but I know, you always try and find I'm not going to ask you to try and find the positive out of what happened last night, because obviously there is none. But in terms of taking yourself back and being calm, that is definitely something that you excel in. What are you saying? How are you feeling about last night?
Well, yesterday I was obviously very emotional. 7-0, as you can imagine, a difficult pill to swallow. But today I'm fine, completely fine. I'm taking this as a blip in the road. We needed this. I'm happy that we were humbled in this way, in this very specific way as well, because at the end of the day, it means that you go on to build a stronger team from this. The only way is back up from this. And that's how the players and the manager has to see this. That's how our manager's seeing it. And that's the mentality I'm going to adopt with this. It's been 18, 16 games or so in 2 months, a lot of football matches. And I was saying it to you on our road trip before, I'm waiting for a lull in performance, from these highs, automatically back in against West Ham, comeback win, Barcelona twice back to back. I was waiting for something, a little blip down the road, and we was all anticipating a little blip down the road. We've been so good away from home. Not at home, and away from home has been where we've been, a little bit underwhelming. Man City, Arsenal, and now Liverpool, the top 6. Against the top 6, we haven't been great away from home, and that's the kind of signs that we needed as a team. I think we needed to see that we're not great away from home, and this is something that we need to work on if we want to become Premier League winners. We have to improve this. But I'm very, very happy in what Ten Hag done. He was very brave. At City away, he's been very brave. He's set up the team, trying to score goals, trying to attack. Hasn't been very pragmatic against Arsenal at times as well. Very offensive, looks to try and find a way to score goals. And again today at Liverpool, just the players didn't have it in them, and the occasion could be a bit parcel of that as well. Ten Hag obviously said pre-match that we love this occasion. We thrive in these situations, and then we go and get battered 7-0. So we can kind of see what Ten Hag wants his team to have, the mentality and the spirit within the team. And it was a test today that we didn't pass, but we can go on next season and build on that and try and be a bit more aggressive and try and be a bit more offensive. You can clearly see some of the players are not cut out for it.
We capitulated, though. We did capitulate. That was the main thing, is the players absolutely lost their head and we were shit. There was no way we literally and it was disgusting to see across the pitch. So there's no, damn it, I don't know what just happened.
But we don't. But what I would say though, KG, on that is that we know that certain players are not for this level. We know, we can see it now, and there's little moments like that show that certain players are not for this level. And on transition we got done, and we need to work on that. But the players dropped their heads, they gave up after a while. You know what I'm saying? Because the first half wasn't horrific. Let's just be honest. The first half was not horrific. It was 1-0 down. Keep yourself in the game. But then the second goal, we were losing it like a ping pong. Bounces off Casemiro, bounces off Luke Shaw, and then a tap-in finish. The third goal, chipping it right in front. Like, you can complain about individual moments, but we know certain players, when the team's at its creme de la creme, at its top level, 4 or 5 of these other players just won't be in the side. So I credit Ten Hag. I'm very happy that he was brave in setting out the team in the way that he did. But unfortunately, this is just a blip on the road. We got Thursday coming. Games are coming thick and fast, just like they have been for the last 2 months. So I'm my head's on the next game, man. I'm gonna take this. I'm happy that we got humbled in this way. Very happy, because it just means that now there's certain characters have to step up. Who's gonna be the man on Thursday, and who's gonna be the even bigger man on Saturday or Sunday against Southampton? Those are the most important fixtures now.
I feel the bit where you're saying you're happy it happened in this way.
I'm not happy. I'm just gonna say I'm not happy.
I have to say I'm not happy it happened in this way. I'm not, because you can take a humbler by just going to Liverpool and say we lost 1-0. We thought we'd go and beat them, and we just didn't quite manage to do it. That's a bit of a measuring stick. But 7
can't be happy.
No, I can't take any.
Somewhat happy that you draw at home against Leeds and you go, that's a bit of a wake up call. I tell you what,
turn
that around. 7 against your arch rival away from home.
Yeah,
historic. Biggest figures ever.
But what I would say on it then, guys, is this: simply, at the beginning of the season, we were looking at there was going to be bad performances. Trying to play this style of football, we were going to see poor performances. 4-0 against Brentford happened. It was a reality within this season. When a manager's trying to get players to play in a certain way, we lost in emphatic fashion against the 2 best teams in the last half a decade. That's what we lost to. And we tried to play offensive football against the 2 most potent teams over the last 5 years. That's what happened, guys.
But that isn't why we lost like that yesterday, Marcel. We didn't lose 7-0 because we tried to play offensive football. We lost 7-0 because we gave up after 2. That's what happened yesterday. That's really what happened.
I think 6-3.
Yeah, no, I hear that, Owen. But what I'm trying to say is that it's counter-attacking football. They're killers on transition. We weren't good enough on transition about 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm trying to say?
We gave up, Marcel.
This is the best manager. This is the best manager at the league at that. Klopp's the best manager at the league implementing that.
I understand that, but you don't lose 7-0 because you gave up because we played attacking football. We lost that game like that. We lost like that because yesterday, again, after it went to 2-0, you could tell by the body language and particularly by the goals that we conceded, especially towards the end. They were goals that you're just one of the goals, we had like 3 or 4 opportunities to clear it. I think Casemiro, Shaw, Martinez, Varane, they all had an opportunity to clear it and it went in. And again, that's not because, we're playing attacking football. That is because, and again, when you look at top elite teams, when you look at, for instance, take, for example, Man City. If Man City had gone 2-0 down in the manner that we went 2-0 down yesterday, they'd have still thought we can come back. I mean, Kenny brought it up to me yesterday in the fan view where he said, and it's a great point, a week ago, they went 2-0 up against Real Madrid. Real Madrid didn't go, yeah, we've lost the game. They scored 5, because they believe they back their ability. And it was brought up earlier on. Mina said it's been reported when it comes to the psychological side of it. Absolutely, they're going to need more of that because that is a trait that we have seen parts this season, not as much this season as last season, but it's a trait in this group of players, in this nucleus, that for whatever reason, 2-0, they just go, it's game over, we can't come back. Man United, we're built on coming back. We're built on coming back when you go 1-0 down, when you go 2-0 down, when you do whatever. That's ultimately the difference. And we just didn't do that yesterday. And granted, I think, the flex is multiplied. Next,
sorry, let me take myself out. So I had to refresh. So let me take myself out. There you go.
Yeah, I think when it comes to that's the psychological side, that's the key thing. I think the media, that's what I was going to say. The media, I think, are way, way, way over the line today. I mean, the knives are fully out to the point of they've been waiting. Since the World Cup, who's got more points in the Premier League than Manchester United? Nobody. They've been waiting for us to slip up, and we slip up today. And you see it all. The stuff about Bruno Fernandes today. Did he cover himself in glory yesterday? No.
No one did.
But exactly. And the narrative that you should get rid of him. He was never good. He shouldn't be the captain. Whoa. 7 days ago, we were lauding this guy because he captained us to winning our first trophy in 6 years. Same with this group of players. It's a really bad result. And I know that it's not what people want to hear, but the only way to rectify it is win your next game and the game after that. Because that's all you can do. You can't change yesterday. What you can change is the future. And what you can ensure is that never happens again. Frankly, once is too many times. But I don't put it down to, tactically, we were just, we were trying to stick to a game plan. We just did nothing. We did nothing yesterday.
No, but we have to credit Liverpool is what I'm trying. Liverpool on transition are one of the best teams in the world. On transition, especially at Anfield. So you got a couple in Anfield and you got a couple in the transition. Our tactic was to press them high and to still play the offensive football at times. And then transitional moments, we were extremely poor. It was the same against City. We was extremely poor. We're a new side to implementing this style of football. Mistakes are going to happen in the league. It's going to happen. It happened. I still believe in Ten Hag. I'm not complaining about. I don't want to complain about Ten Hag. I don't even focus on that. I don't even.
It's not even about that. Yeah, this isn't about who believes in Ten. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's any of that. I'm not worried about. I'm worried about the players and how they're gonna bounce back from this shocking performance. Yes, they downed tools and they threw in the towel, but it's the real crux of the issue is the transition. Why are players not following players? Why have we not got enough hungry players chasing back? Well, we've played how many weeks of football, guys? Do you get what I'm trying to say? We've just had a high from a cup. So you're balancing the emotions and the fatigue and the demand. You just had a demand against Barcelona. You just had a demand against Newcastle. You've just had a comeback win against West Ham. At some point, something's got to give. You can't have these players playing
that, but not
top-level
7-0.
football three times a week, 90 minutes.
Elite football.
Yeah, I hear that. There's a way to lose. Listen, we all want to put on the shirt and play for Man United.
You can't say. So that's why
I'm not putting on one.
You can't just go like, well, it had to happen at some point. Yeah, you can't win every game, but you shouldn't lose any game 7-0. Like that's the difference.
Especially
there's a line, there's a boundary.
I'm gonna read out super chats and then come to Kenny. Kenny's just been kind of waiting to stew on this before Kenny's gonna give us his thoughts. Truth Engraved, been a member for 8 months. Big up to you, Truth Engraved. Says United view and NF therapy sessions. Everest says Bruno being made the scapegoat. I hate this fan base. We'll talk a little bit about that in the show later on. Jerome T says we have to take the banter. Agreed. Take the loss. Agreed. And move on. Agreed. I really think that's a great way of putting it. If we dwell on this, it's going to be bad. Continue playing our football and we win more cups. Exactly. Abdul says, sorry, there's quite a lot of super chats here, guys. I just went past that one by accident. Hold on. Abdul says, mashallah. Mina brings the luck. Trust Ten Hag. Fingers crossed emoji. And that's the first super chat from Abdul as well. Big up to you. CeeLo says, a big up the United View crew. Anyone not trusting Ten Hag and the process after this loss? Question mark. Oh my God. Red flag. Exactly. It's nothing.
Red flag.
There you go. And Lage Kristen says, oh, I'm sorry, rivals. I didn't know 7-0 gave you 7 points. Get them in all competitions and win them a trophy and cast us out. We're going nowhere. Glory, glory, Man United. Nathan Joseph says, the big picture, it was embarrassing, but let's just use it as a springboard to go on this year to win the Europa and the FA Cup. It was one game. Yes, against rivals. We can't let that undermine all the good work. And said Ali says, hi, everyone. I don't know what went wrong. I trust my manager. Mina is right. That was on the players. Snakeheart says, big up Flex for holding your own on DR Sports. Had to go and face the music. You give it out, you dish it out. You have to hold it. You are one of the few United fans that talk sense. Big up to you. I've been following you for a while. Big up to your panel. Come on, you Gunners. Nice Arsenal fan there, showing some love. So big up to you.
Come on, United and say Gunners. I was like,
nah, come on, you Gunners. Yeah, but showed me love personally. So I gotta respect it. It. And they had a mad comeback. So what can you say? Harshad says, Flex, can we get a tactical view on yesterday? It's up. It's there already. Tactical analysis. It's already there. If you haven't checked it out, check it out after this. Obviously, I know you're watching this live, so check it out after that. Priest of Banter says, Ten Hag cooked by Christmas. This squad scares me. No, I don't think it's that at all. I really don't think it's that. RK says, hope our fan base will calm the hell down. We were acting like we were invincible after the game, beating teams we should. So this was needed. Scared now for the next 2 games. I'm not going to lie, says RK. Hamza says, freak result after a mad series of games. No need to panic. Still got a strong chance to finish with 3 trophies and top 4. And we'll defo learn from this. Take the L and move on. Positive vibes only. I like that, Hamza. K-Flow says, a lot has to change. I'm not having it as a blip, mate. We've held Corn at away grounds this season alone. A blip is losing 2-0. It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday something like, I don't know, league like Sunday. It was Sunday league like. Look,
a lot has changed.
You know what? Yeah, hold on. Let me get the super chats out because I feel like we can get stuck on one and then we won't.
As well.
And yeah, exactly. William Jacob says Marcel looks like Steve Lacey, and I can't unsee it.
Who's
Kristen,
that?
I don't even know who that is actually. KG, is that acting? But do you know?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know who it is, guys.
Kristen has gifted 5 United View memberships as well. Big up to Kristen. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And K-Flow says, Marcel, there's absolutely no way Liverpool lose to us in that manner at Old Trafford, even if they played 24 hours prior. You don't lose that way and call it a blip. Emika says, 7 Hags, right errors come to an end. The Bobby Salah, this is a Liverpool fan, Mane era is over. Buckle up for Gakpo, Nunes, Konate, Jude era. Anfield's just another ground. Clowns, yet Man United has 1 goal in 8 years. Hold that 7 hard. Well, that 7 also represents the amount of points you're behind us, mate. So you keep printing your T-shirts, you keep putting up the 7 trophy and work on building on the 7 points that you need to make up to get over us, or just to scrap for top 4 that you've got. Or you should have saved 7 for midweek against Madrid, because you're probably going to need. You're probably going to need.
It does look like
that. Oh, right, okay, there you go.
Who is it? Who is it, KG?
I think it's some musician. But yeah, just
I didn't really see it. To be honest.
The one with the long hair.
Yeah, I think it's
okay.
I think it's a reach.
JK says, feels like it wasn't real, but rivals reminding us. It definitely was real, 100%. JJ Ass says, a new era. You must be having a laugh. Come on, you Gunners. Obviously, they've won the league with the last minute Reece Nelson goal, so they've got the trophy as well. And Naz says, fatigue was an issue, but character was the bigger issue. Eric Ten Hag called it an unprofessional performance due to their response, effort, and attitude, and it wasn't unprofessional. And Eric Ten Hag really, could tell he was biting his lip of what he really wanted to say, but made sure in public he didn't dig out his players. He just went, you know what, it was unprofessional, because I think they tried to get him to say unacceptable, and he stopped and paused and went, it was unprofessional performance, and he left it at that. Kenny, sorry it's taken 26 minutes to come your way. So all these guys hogging the limelight, not sharing.
It's okay.
Apologies.
It's okay.
Owen went off on one. KG went off on one. Mina, Marcel, I apologize. But no, that just shows you obviously how emotional we are right now. In the midst of this. And look, I dare say, supporting Man United for so many years, you've seen us in some of our worst moments. And actually, Gary Neville was alluding to it in his commentary afterwards, saying in the season that we've won leagues, we've lost 5-0 before and had big, horrible scorelines. I'm not trying to say this is parallel, but how do you feel kind of like now it's been 24 hours?
I feel that I'm fine now because you have to put things into context. So let's go back 2 weeks. 2 weeks, we said that we had the 3 biggest games that we have coming up that we've had in the last 5 years. That's what we said, right? Barcelona, beat them. Won a cup at Wembley. Newcastle, beat them. Lost. We was humiliated yesterday, right? I can always look for a little bright spark. The bright spark for me is I'm just glad that we played them last, because if we'd have played the Liverpool 3 days before Wembley and lost 7-0, that would have been a different outcome on the probably on the final. So if there is any, like say, ray of hope or whatever, let's just be glad we had them at the end of it and not at the beginning, because then that could have had a massive impact on morale going into Wembley 3 days before, etc., etc. So let's put it in a bit more context. Manchester United this year have won more games this season than any other club in Europe. They've won 30 games. Eric Ten Hag has given us hope, right? Yesterday, his team capitulated. They were pathetic. And you can pick individuals out. But I'll also mention as well Ten Hag. And I'll tell you why I mentioned Ten Hag. Because if people are digging Bruno out, right? And I dug Bruno out yesterday because I thought his behaviour was unacceptable. However, no, I'll sit back and I'll reflect. Bruno Fernandes has played nearly every minute of football for Manchester United this season. Of a more successful season for a long time, right? He's played midfield, number 10, right wing. Yesterday played left wing. Aaron Wan-Bissaka plays for Man United. He plays at right back. Varane plays at right centre back. We are asking players to do, in particular Bruno Fernandes, things that he's not comfortable doing, because he's never been asked to do it before as a footballer. So what context am I putting that in? I'll tell you what context I'm putting it in, and this is no excuse. Our front line yesterday had one centre-forward, Marcus Rashford. If Marcus Rashford hadn't played yesterday, what would we have done? What did Liverpool have? Liverpool, Salah, Gakpo, Núñez. On the bench, Firmino, Jota. Five top-class forwards. What did we have? We had a £2 million loanee from Burnley, and I like Vegas, but you have to be realistic. That's what you was up against yesterday. So what we was doing yesterday, we were shuffling a pack of cards where all the spots had fallen off. That's what we was doing yesterday. We were shuffling a pack of cards. We have asked them, this is not an excuse, but this is fact. We are asking our players to play every 3 days, right? There's nothing behind them, nothing. The thing that's coming behind them is what? Scott McTominay, right? Young Manu, all those players, young Palestra or whatever, they are not Nunes, they're not Firmino, they're not Jotas. They may be in 5 or 10 years, but they're not, right? So what Ten Hag had to do yesterday, Ten Hag got it wrong. He got the front line wrong to start with. And our front line has been our first line of defence all year because they've been tracking back, they've been pressing, etc., etc. And the formation, for whatever reason, just didn't work. Right, and any frustrations for Fernandes was probably around. He's probably thinking, "Why am I not over there? I could stop that. I can't stop it here." So put that add that into the equation. About I'm not defending it, but look at that. Look at that on its own. There are 2 big games this week. There are 2 big games this week. We have got Real Betis on Thursday night. The biggest game this week for Manchester United is Liverpool against Real Madrid. I'm going to tell you why. Because Real Madrid will stuff them. They'll stuff them and embarrass them in their own backyard. And that's Liverpool's scene finished. Liverpool are like Manchester United. We don't compete for top 4. Manchester United don't compete for top 4. Liverpool don't. They compete for titles. So that if they're clinging for hope, they're clinging this now that they get another miracle and they can beat Madrid. They ain't going to beat Madrid. I don't care where they are or wherever. They're not putting 3 and 4 past Real Madrid in their own backyard. The biggest game for Manchester United this week is a Liverpool game against Real Madrid. Because what they cannot do, what Liverpool must not be allowed to do is get momentum. They must not be allowed to get momentum because they can do it. They've proven in the past, they can come on a run of 10, 12 games. We don't have that squad. We don't have that depth of squad to, I think, go on 12 wins. I think we'll get top 4. I think we'll get top 4.
I got to jump in with the, we don't have the, I think we do have that, what do you call it? I think we do have that about us. We've done it. We've been on a run of like 10 games. I think, and this is the thing with Man United, right? We've gone to places, we've gone to homes, and we've won away from home. Yeah,
KG, that wasn't at the end of the season when they're tired. That wasn't at the end of the season. That's when you had a rest at the World Cup. A lot of them players didn't go to the World Cup. And if they went to the World Cup, half of them were on the plane back home 2 weeks after.
I don't think fatigue I don't think fatigue's an excuse. And
no, I'm not saying no. I'm saying our options. You know, you wouldn't. It was the equivalent yesterday. It was like Liverpool putting more salary at centre back yesterday because they would have been that stretched or we saw it with Liverpool was it last year? Last year, Liverpool, they lost all the defence. They were awful. The defence came back all at once, and all of a sudden, boom. If we get Marcel back, you get Sancho playing or whatever, all of a sudden, we've got a few options. He's really, really struggling with his options. But this manager has more than enough credit in the bank with the fan base, right, to get us through this year. More than enough. So he can ignore what the press is saying.
He will.
We will never turn against Ten Hag.
No, that's that. I don't think that's even. Well, it definitely shouldn't be coming out of any Manchester United fan's mouth. Any notion of is this guy the real deal? No. For me, it was obviously jaw dropping. It left me speechless. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, and all of the the banter that comes with it, and people laughing at us. But once it all does calm down, i.e. when you get to 24 hours, 48 hours after the game, it is about the next game. And the reason why, when people are saying like, you can't call this a blip. Well, the reason why I will call it a blip so far is because we've just lost one game, not 7. Like it is one game. Now, obviously, if we don't go and beat Real Betis and then we don't beat Southampton at home, then you can say that was not a blip because you lost against Liverpool and now you haven't won the other games. And I just feel that let me cast our minds back to the beginning of the season, yeah? But actually, before the beginning of the season, before Ten Hag even had his first game, we said, and this is just a bit of context, right, guys? We said that this season is going to be incredibly tough. This was before we started doing good, and we went, wow, let's just strip it right back, yeah? Because we've been humbled. So when you get humbled, you have to go back to basics, yeah? So let's go back to basics. We said, and everyone agreed, that this season is going to be absolutely tough. When we lose games, right, the media are going to be out to get us, the rival fans are going to laugh, and we're going to have to batten down the hatches, bite down on the gum shield, and get through it. The leaks will come out, this will happen, that will happen, the house is burning down, etc., etc. And guess what? It happened in game 1 against Brighton. It happened in game 2 against Brentford. So we got an early example of what we was expecting to happen. We believed. We went on a nice run. Crazy blip. Not as bad as this, looking at it now, but a crazy blip at Manchester City. 4-0. Red flag. 4-0 down at half-time. Couldn't believe it. All of a sudden it was, why didn't you bring on Ronaldo? It was disrespectful. Ten Hag's not going to last, etc., etc., etc. What did we do then? Bite down on the gum shield and believe. We go on another run. What happens? We buck up on Aston Villa with Unai Emery as his first game. Bang, we lose. Forgot the principles. Forgot how we're supposed to play with Ten Hag. What did we do? Bite down on the gum shield and believe. We go on another run. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we've blocked out noise from people laughing, blocked out any negative media, and we've trusted the manager and the team start to produce. We've got ourselves into a cup final. And in the end of the day, we bucked up on right? We bucked up on Arsenal, lost narrowly, to the point where we lost the game, everyone said, you know what? It happens. We gassed out near the end. We go again. What happened since then? Mouth-watering tie against Barcelona. Like what KG said, we was all kind of scared, saying, oh my God, what are we going to do? Went to the new camp, stood up, was counted for against the best team in Spain, who just actually beat Real Madrid again. You know, they beat them in their own backyard in the first leg of the cup. And then Real Madrid actually went and drew, I think, against Betis actually the other day. But anyway, we beat them. And we're all saying how well Ten Hag's done. We're all bigging up these players. We're all saying how good this player's done, the improvement in that player. Look how good Shaw is. Oh, my God, we're so lucky to have Casemiro. Oh, look at Bruno. We're so lucky now we've got a leader. You know, he's done so well in such a short space of time. He's turned us around, done the interview with Rio. We're all saying, oh, look at Bruno. Look what he's done. And now what we're saying, as embarrassing as a defeat was, now what we're saying, because we've dropped 3 points, not 7, because we've dropped 3 points, Bruno should now be stripped of the captaincy. We're not good like we thought we was. Like we haven't had a good season. The cup counts for nothing. Beating Barcelona counts for nothing. And all of a sudden, now it's more than a blip and it's panic stations and the house is burning down. You want us to believe that after what we've seen? Forget it. Not a chance. Not a chance. I'm not having it. I will 100%. Listen, I had to go and hold some serious corn today. The whole reason why I was able to even go on DR Sports in a preview and say to Alex, I think Fabinho's washed, can't get into my team. I think Harvey Elliott's dead, can't get into my team. Naby Keita, I think Darwin Núñez is nothing. I think this. The whole reason I got massive egg on my face and I had to hold it, and I did, and I made sure I did. You can't run. But the whole reason I was even able to go in there with that belief was because of the evidence, because of the proof of what Erik ten Hag has showed us and what this team has showed us. And now you want me to throw that all out. I've always said up until last week about the title race, I've always said, no, I want to look behind us, get that gap. And then it was no flex, just got that. And then I fully went. But you know what? I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And the reason why I don't regret it, and I'm not saying I'm going to join you again, KG, because I'm not, but because I've been humbled. But I don't regret it. And the reason why I don't regret it is because we're coming from the mud. If you can't enjoy the good days when they're good and enjoy your team starting to do well, then what are we football fans for? And just on the Bruno thing, I just want to really touch on the Bruno thing, and then I'll hand it back to everybody else. I think Bruno obviously didn't cover himself in glory yesterday, right? Of course he didn't. You know, he is our captain. But at the end of the day, the way that Bruno is, that is what makes him why he's so effective. The reason why the team's been doing really well It's because of players like Bruno. We were literally been lauding Bruno the whole season. He's been part of this turnaround. He's been part of this turnaround of how we've done so well. And maybe I'm speaking a bit more from close-up experience, but I've watched Bruno Fernandes, right? When the chips are down, or even when the chips aren't down, I've seen him stay outside, sign countless autographs for fans, give the time of day to everybody, put his arse on the line, never stop running, never give in, and good is not good enough. I've seen that guy do it. I've seen him lay on chances for people. I've seen him score all the penalties. I've seen him come and get 20 goals plus assists, in everything, and have a massive effect on this team, to the point where we were saying, wow, do you know what? Bruno has really come in and he's led this team in this immediate, aftermath of Erik ten Hag joining. And yes, he didn't cover himself in glory yesterday, but now you expect me to say, out of all the players, when everybody played poorly yesterday, because they did, I must say now, well, Luke Shaw played a 0 out of 10 yesterday. So actually, let's give him the captaincy. David De Gea played a 0 out of 10. So let's give him the captaincy. Varane, my favorite player, the ghost of Rafe the Phantom. Someone said a super chat earlier that he was a Cat C. He was a Cat C Rolls Royce. He was a write-off. He's been stuck back together again and rolled out. I had to laugh. Cat C. That's embarrassing. But I should give the captaincy to him. My point being is, nobody was good yesterday. So if you think the answer for Man United to come out of yesterday is to strip Bruno of the captaincy and create more unrest and give it to somebody else, I don't get it. Call out a bad performance, no problem. Call out that the players didn't turn up, got no problem. Call out that absolutely that should never happen, got no problem. But don't act like the house is burning down and Manchester United are in absolute panic stations again, when it's just not true. Just isn't true.
Sorry, can I just say one thing?
Absolutely.
Every player deserves to be criticised, yeah, but there is no reason that a team should have 8 shots on goal and 8 shots on target and 7 of them result in a goal. So
absolutely.
Questions can be. I know KG's. I don't know if he's frozen. I don't know if it's the Instagram filter he got, but he's just staring at me a bit scary.
Oh no, I'm just listening. I was reading the chat. Sorry, that's my secret reading face.
When I watched, one thing that stood out to me today when I watched back the highlights of the goals is that David De Gea didn't even try to save some of them.
He gave up too.
And I feel like he gave up too. I feel like from 2-0 down, everyone just capitulated. They just heads dropped, and we've seen it against Brentford. Obviously, it was quite different with Manchester City. I think that 6-3 fixture that Marcel was comparing to before, I think is quite different to the performance that we saw yesterday. I think those are 2 different performances from the 6-3 beating that we took at the beginning of the season. But when everybody's heads kind of dropped, I think it's unfair to call out Bruno. And I think Bruno is sometimes always an easy target. I feel like he's always the easier target. Someone who's had 100 plus goals and assists involvement in 158 games is somebody that works for the team. That's someone that works for the squad.
Out of position.
Bruno's got 3 losses as a captain. I don't know what that is. That sounds like the beginning of Jumanji.
Should we start? Should we check who it is? Should we meet everyone one by one and see who the culprit is?
Owen, you're on mute.
It's Owen.
No, I muted Marcel and then he went off. I was muted at the same time. It was not me.
Okay, who's it then?
It's gone.
What were we trying to look for, guys?
Like there was like this Jumanji, like they just found the game. And
it was like this. It was like this. It was like that, wasn't it? It was like
yeah. It sounded like
it's not me
was going to come through the room in Jumanji. That's what it sounded like.
Marcel was trying to get across his De Gea agenda in like Morse code. It sounded like it was like stop.
Is it me?
Stop.
I don't know.
Is it me, guys?
It's gone.
It might be me. Whatever it is. I'm going on mute. It might be me.
Was it you? There was like a tapping, like a banging noise.
A question for you, Flex, here. If we was to lose Rashford with injury, what would we do?
Find a solution.
Well, we'd have to try and find a solution, but we would be in trouble, of course. And actually, in the last few games, I think since the Barcelona home game, Rashi's looked a little bit, he had an impact in that he gets the goal in the final. But, he's just maybe suffering from a little bit of fatigue. And actually, we can't, again, expect Marcus Rashford to score or assist in every single game. It was always it's always going to be a game where he doesn't score. It's always going to be a game where it might be, you know, like K Flo says there. He looks leggy. He looks leggy now, and that is as a result of all these games. And we did say a loss is going to come. Like, we're not going to keep winning all these games. It's just when it does, how do we react? Did we envisage it happening in this manner to this team? No. Absolutely not. Couldn't have thought of anything more opposite. But I just think, for me personally, and I know a lot of you guys echo this, and this is now the last 15 minutes where we kind of transition into away from last night and looking forward. I just think, let's break it down. We're 7 points clear of Liverpool. We're third in the Premier League for a reason. We've got one cup in the bag. We've got, you know, what looks like a favourable, tough game against Fulham, but a favourable draw to get to Wembley, to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup. We've got Betis over 2 legs, which again looks favourable. Going to be a tough game, but again favourable. And we're still on for our initial target. In fact, exceeding our initial target. Let's not forget that. I remember, and I'm going to speak for me here. I don't know how you guys feel. I said, I don't think this team can finish any higher than 5th. And you know what? If the team does finish 5th and we have a style of play and we just stabilise, I'll take it as a stepping stone. We've massively exceeded that. And we've got a trophy in the bag, albeit an easy run to the final. But I tell you what, Eric Ten Hag didn't give a shit, mate. He played the strongest team, whether it was Reading, whether it was Man City. He played the same team. Why? Because it's about trophies. And actually, if we get to the end of the season, which I predict we will, with a trophy, finishing no lower than 3rd, and you know what? Maybe even another trophy, and we look at it, no one's going to go, oh, Man United got 2 trophies and they finished 3rd. Oh, but they lost to Man City by 3 goals and they lost to Liverpool by 7. Well, okay, cool, but we finished 3rd. We're the 3rd best team in the league, coming from our worst ever Premier League finish ever. And another thing I will say before I hand over to everyone else is that everything can't get fixed in one season. So we were diabolical last season, right? What did we all say? Old Trafford needs to become a fortress again, first off. First off, get your home in order. Get your shit together. People don't come to Old Trafford and roll us over. In fact, what happens is bloody Fergie time last minute, under the cosh. We keep coming and the belief is there. Whether it's Barcelona, whether it's West Ham, whether it's Leeds, 2-0 down. So that's understandable. The big away games have been an issue this year. Can't shy away from it. But resiliency has to be built over time, and mentality has to be built over time. And you can't fix everything in one season. If we still finish 3rd with a trophy minimum and get 3rd, I ain't gonna remember the Liverpool thing. Liverpool fans will remember it because, yeah. Well, I will make myself just focus on the positives. Liverpool fans and the rest of the Premier League, we can't escape that. This is one of them results that is in Premier League history. Yeah, it's always, even if we beat Liverpool next year 3-0, they're gonna go but 7-0. Like, it's just one of them. Like the 8-2, and this was worse. Like, we had our strongest team out. We're waxing lyrical about how good they are. And we got absolutely smoked. So, you know what? Fair enough. But I tell you what, I would still rather be Manchester United and in this position than be Liverpool and in their position. I don't care. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Go on, Fleck.
In it though, because at the end of the day,
it's true. You're right.
We lost 3 points. We did not lose 7 points. Exactly. If Liverpool don't get in the top 4, which I think they will, because Tottenham are shit. Newcastle, I think, will, and they probably will. But say they don't. Say Liverpool don't get in the top 4. Say they do. Say Liverpool finish 4th. They're obviously not going to win any trophies now because they ain't going to come back against Madrid, right? Let's say they win. Let's say they get top 4, and we finish 3rd.
You don't write that.
Who's had a better season?
Don't write off that Real Madrid game though. I'm just saying.
Oh no, they're not coming back.
I'm just saying.
They're not coming back.
I know I've seen wild things, so I will never write.
If I was a Liverpool fan, you know, I think to myself after that game yesterday. First of all, I'd say, where has that been all season? If I was a Liverpool fan, and 2, I would say, I tell you what, we've got to make it count after that, because if you get this historic, amazing victory and you don't make it count.
That's why Liverpool fans are deluded, because they think they can beat Real Madrid in their own back. Put 4 past them in their own backyard. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Oh, Kenny.
Guys. Listen. Real Madrid has not won since they beat Liverpool, by the way. It's not been good. So.
I think Liverpool could win on the night. They could win like 2-1 or something, but still go out.
That's what you need.
yeah, exactly. But I do think I do see that happening. It'd be typical Liverpool, innit? They put in a good enough performance where they're like, obviously the damage was done for the first leg. We went away, done a good job. Now we focus on top four. Let me get these super chats out before I hand back to you guys. Because I don't want to hog the mic. Wow, there's a lot. Over 2,000 people watching, by the way. Only 350 likes. Can we do something about that, guys? Let's get the likes up.
That's a red flag, KG.
That is a red flag. Fatigue wasn't right. Naz says fatigue was an issue, but character was the bigger issue. Eric Ten Hag called it unprofessional performance due to their response, effort, and attitude. Basilo says City had freak results in the first season with Pep: 4-0 to Everton, 6-2 to Villa. It happens. Troy Superstar says the loss is only 3 points. So relaxed about this L. Goku 3000 says, in Ten Hag we trust. I believe we will bounce back. Liverpool fans can enjoy the win. Still 7 points behind us, though, crackheads. Troy Superstar says, the loss is not the issue. The body language that is what scared me. Troy Superstar says, KG, have a hate along for Liverpool versus Madrid, please. Don F says, Eric Ten Hag owns this defeat, but I trust him. Wrong 11. I Am the Truth says Eric Ten Hag is 52, and what is his achievement? Nothing. Sees this United team go in the mud next season. Screenshot my super chat. Zidane was the one we needed.
Wait, hold on. Just look that. Hey, Owen, just have that.
That's ridiculous.
Owen, have that one down.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Rafa says in between class. Big up the panel. Big up to you. Troy Superstar says that was fatigue. Even the Villa loss, the number one determinant of performance is fatigue prevention. You can't perform with fatigue. They're working on fumes. David G says we lost 7-0, 4-0, and 5-0 against Liverpool in the past 2 years. I think I saw in the last 9 years it's 29-2 or something.
17-0 into 17-1, I think, or 2 in 2 years.
It's insane. It is definitely something that needs to be sorted out. Witterbird has gifted five times.
Big up Vicky.
Yes, big up Vicky. She's gifted another 5 super chats. And remember to check out UV Raw. The membership is open. You get the behind the scenes footage. You don't want to miss stuff like that. Troy Superstar says, not panicked about Ten Hag. Failed the team poorly with selection, wrong positions and poor subs. Need to rest players and take risks. Premier League still on. # trust the maths. Come on, Troy Superstar, man. Premier League's not on. Troy Superstar says, Ten Hag must appoint a substantive captain, not Bruno. Can we have a poll? Do you know what? I don't even want to have a poll, but I feel like it's a community. So can we just put a poll to say, should Bruno still be the captain? Could just put a poll of that. Just in the interest of free speech, and just because I think something and we might think something, we can't just not have it out there for people to choose. But I will be massively surprised if people vote he should be stripped to the captain. I just don't get it. Troy Superstar said, Flex, glad it's not your decision. Bruno is no captain. Troy Superstar not having it. Polo Note says, Bruno asked to be subbed, unacceptable. I don't think he did. I think that was the wrong end of the stick. I don't think he asked to be subbed as well, personally, but we will never know. Nathan says, Flex, I agree, but Bruno as the captain, he cannot move the way he did. It's inexcusable, even with the credit he has in the bank. He shouldn't be stripped of the captaincy, but his attitude has got to get better. I think that's fair. I think this is something that Bruno needs to look at and learn from and say, I'm expressionate. I wear my heart on the sleeve. I do have the dark arts. I do annoy people, but I overstepped the line yesterday, and I need to tone that back in if I want to.
Everyone did though, man. Do you know what? Sorry, this is what's ridiculous, right? You get Graham Potter, who no one is talking about losing his job. Again, Bruno's had a bad result yesterday, but if you look at I
don't know, KG. A lot of people are talking about it.
I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about the media. No, we're talking about it.
Right.
Protected by them, because the media are the ones that are saying this is the disgrace, never seen anything like that. It's not being said, it's not being covered properly. I think that there's other players that have let their teams down tirelessly. You got a guy that's playing out of position, not in his original position. Yes, he's overexpression. Yes, he's this, yes, he's that, but he's not I saw players getting angry.
Problem.
I saw players getting angry. Like when Roy Keane gets mad when Brazilians dance, I think to myself, wait, that's their culture though. When you see, just because you don't like it, don't mean that that's not how this thing should go. I remember when Pogba will get a new haircut, it was the rave. Now everyone's got blonde hair. No one's saying anything. It's really weird that in terms of what these guys can do, what these guys can't do. I just think now everyone's got their knives out again for Bruno. And when you say he's getting plaudits this season, no, he's not. It's Casemiro, Varane, and Martinez that are getting the plaudits. He's been left out. And I've been watching, because I've been waiting to say, when are they going to give him this saying, you know what, flowers to you? All through the time, Casemiro's been the one that's been said he's revolutionized the way Man United look. Casemiro still had a bad game yesterday. We're not going to all come out and say Casemiro. Those questions are not going to come to Casemiro. I think as a team, we all let ourselves down. There's players that went in. I saw Scott McTominay going in for some dirty tackles, could have taken a player out. No one's talking about that because, no, it's part of the game. Look at him. That's what he should be doing. What's the difference? You could injure a man, and just because I'm moaning, but you're willing to take someone out. Soon as that's been over, kick someone, like real season career-ending injuries, and you're going to tell me he's a leader. Piss off with that, man. I'm backing these players, siege mentality, backing my boys. We'll move, fam. Pissing me off, bro. These guys.
See, I'm not going to do this.
Shit, bro. We're moving, fam. These guys are injured players. These guys are no one to talk, bro. I see man plant a flag in another stadium, inciting the flag. What about that? What about that? But no one, they don't want to. Yeah, what about that? Yeah. There you go. But then now you get to do higher mighty. I've seen players with no England caps chatting shit like they could lace man boots. Sit down as well, man. Sorry.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it though, KG. I'm not gonna let people kind of dictate to us the level that Bruno should be playing at. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. At the end of the day, we lost a football match in an embarrassing manner, but there's so many factors to that. The fatigue, yes, Anfield's a difficult place to play, and Ten Hag, I think, really demanded a level from these players, saying it post-match, like I'm said before. Post-match, he said they love this moment. They love playing in front of Anfield in this manner. They love this pressure. We clearly are not there yet. I'm not going to criticize Ten Hag and say, no, the players aren't there. But at the end of the day, we clearly aren't there yet. This is a positive for me. My manager wants my 11 players that have the Man United badge on to play with this mentality. He wants them to thrive in this difficult situation. We haven't succeeded. We haven't succeeded. That's what the fact of the matter is. Next season, we go in there, we do that. I'm not upset about this at all.
No, don't get
no, but it's the way it starts.
It starts here. You go, yeah, no.
But it's just the way it's no. Do you know what? In fairness to Marcel, because people say, "Oh, Simbi, Marcel."
You can hate the way I say things. No, I say the exact same things everyone else says.
No, it's not even that. Do you know what it is? It's just the way that you're processing it and the way that you express it. Because you're basically saying, you know what, we can turn a negative into a positive. We can use this to go forward. But when you say the statement, "I'm happy this happened," that it just sounds nuts. That's why.
Doesn't Kenny?
That's for you lot to interpret it how you guys want to interpret it.
I know you don't mean it as you're happy we got spanked. 100%, you're not.
Once you guys think about what I say. That's it. You can see it once you read between the lines of what I'm saying. That's it.
Don't you think Kenny's lighting is like similar to Man United's performance? It just got darker.
Yeah, I'm putting the light on like
yesterday's performance. I'm looking at it. It's just got darker and darker.
Oh god, guys! Just to finish off, just to finish off, KG. I know you got to go. We've had an hour. Troy Superstar says, KG and Owen, can you play striker and Casemiro? Rashford's off. M-Site says, the way I see it, the players have the Carabao Cup for us last week. We stand behind them until the season ends. 7-0 won't shake my stand. That is it. Nathan says, Flex, I agree. Oh, and I've read that one already. And Scholl says, Bruno talk is premature. Last week, he was the man, dependable in all games. We can overreact. Eric Ten Hag does need to pull him aside. He can't be that petulant. Emika, who obviously is a Liverpool fan, says, stop capping Flex. 7-0, you'll never forget it. And Base the Kid says, imagine if we conceded 10 goals on Sunday. The bants on Eric's name would have been insane, but it is concerning. Almost every match we lose is heavy goals. Troy Superstar says, I could have done a better job than Ten Hag. He was clueless, but you still back that same manager to win the league. I don't understand. Yeah. I don't get it.
Can I just make a point?
Yeah.
Can I just make a point? Last week, we was all screaming that Bruno Fernandes should be going up to collect the trophy on his own.
Yeah, now look at these guys.
now we should be stripped of the captain.
Exactly.
Can I also just say, KG, why do you have to go very, very quickly?
I got a stylist coming.
I
don't need no stylist, bro. Stylist for what?
He needs a stylist.
No. No, but real talk, yeah. I'm not lying to you. Look, yeah, I had this moment, bro. I was on the plane, yeah, with A-list actors, like sitting in business class, and I'd done the shameless one. I couldn't hold it back. I was like, "Can I have a picture, please?"
Who was you? Who was there? Like what? Who?
Bro, the Game of Thrones cast is here. They're all like their hair. Like,
what was Jon Snow on the plane?
No, just this season. What do you call it?
The House of Dragons.
Yeah, the Targaryen man. You know, the one with the white. Oh.
Yeah.
I was trying to hold it down. You know, like I've been here before. No, I haven't been here before. I've never experienced this.
Enjoy it, bro.
Yeah. No, I went in.
You deserve to be there. You deserve.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, he doesn't deserve to be there. He deserves to be here, getting the pain with everyone else. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm still doing all these stuff. I'm still pulling up, fam. I'm not running away from the smoke. I'm gonna be there, flex.
And that's what I'm saying. Never change, KG, because it's got you to where you are today. You've got a stylist coming in after you. Okay, that's where it's got you. Never change ever.
She's here. See you later.
All right.
Go.
Peace. All right. We are finishing soon anyway. He's literally going to get started. I wish he does a vlog of his styling, his session of what they do, because I think they probably just get, I don't know, his baby or put on his head or something.
They take the hat off and they go, oh.
Yeah, and that's it. They probably just put a bit of foundation on his head. And Kit says, the fatigue has piled up. It was the wrong place, wrong time. You don't go to Anfield without being fully up for it. Trust the process. And actually, before we finish, Bama, who's been a member, has gifted 20 United View memberships. Wow. Unbelievable. Wow. That's crazy. So Witterbed gave some memberships out, and so did Bama as well.
I need to be in the comments, like, while we're doing
crazy.
This. I want to get
crazy. Yeah, you got to time it right, Mina. You got to time it right. We didn't feel that it was appropriate, given what happened yesterday, and the tone of how everything was, to do the winner for the Anthony shirt. But just so you guys know that we are going to keep to what we are going to do that tomorrow. We are going to do that tomorrow in the morning show. But I just think with everything that happened, it just wasn't the right time to be like, oh, he wants to win this Anthony shirt. It just wasn't the right time. Got to read the room. We need Diogo Costa, says Joseph. Let's not even get into that right now. This is the end of the show.
That's Marcel playing in Naira.
Let's not. Oh yeah, and the results in the poll were as follows. Should Bruno remain as the captain? And I'm not surprised to see over 60% are saying yes, he should remain as a captain. Should be higher, in my opinion. Yeah. But anyway, guys, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Big shouts to Kenny, big shouts to Marcel, big shouts to Mina as usual, big shouts to Owen, and more importantly, you guys in the comments, you guys watching at home. It's been a tough one to take. 24 hours has now passed, and we've got to look forward, guys. Please remember this. This is my closing statement. Do not allow the media and rival fans to convince you that the house is on fire, Erik ten Hag is not the real deal, and Bruno is this villain. Please don't do it. Let's look forward to it, because if we get back to business, which I think we will, against Betis and Southampton, tough. We do need to prove that we can bounce back. You know, this was a really shocking defeat, but we can literally be saying it's business as usual. And that's what we need to get back to, business as usual. So yeah, take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on the Morning View. We are out of here. Take care. Peace.